Hello, hello, hello. Girl Chat Sports
Anthony
on a Thursday.
after dark. Let's
Little
go.
after dark session. Let's go. We'll get to the Vegas sports that have been keeping me and Mo busy this week. We wanted to have a special Thursday, just kind of recap what's been happening out here as well as what's happening out there in the world of sports. And then in probably about 15, 20 minutes, we're going to have our special guest on from the UW Alumni Chapter here in Las Vegas, the Nevada chapter, and talk a little bit about the upcoming Oregon versus Washington game that's going to be live broadcast with College Game Day at University of Washington's campus, which I'm really excited about too. So bummed I won't be there, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you'll be
You know
okay.
what? I just realized I didn't have my cable cord in. Hang on one second.
You're what? Girl
I
Chat
didn't have
Sports, y'all.
the
Just solo
cable.
molo. I'm gonna call
Yeah.
it solo molo. They didn't got another interception. Are you guys watching this Thursday night game? Because I swear to God,
I've been
it's a
watching it.
divisional one, and I don't want either team to win, of course, because they're in the AFC West, which is my
Yeah,
division.
of
But
course.
Russell Wilson just threw another interception.
And for the Chiefs would be a lot further ahead if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes throwing an interception and Denver's defense being fairly good today. They
Yes,
haven't been
yes.
good, but
So
today for some reason they're good,
So
fairly
I
good.
take it back. It wasn't an interception. He completed the pass. One of his receivers fumbled the ball after getting hit on contact, and they
Oh my
recovered it
gosh.
and
Oh
interception.
my gosh.
Yeah.
So you just had an NBA draft,
Yes. I just
fantasy
finished it.
draft. And we know I don't personally do them because it's too much for me to handle. But you continue to do them and torture yourself and then use it as an excuse to get out of everything else that we do. But tell me about how the draft went.
Right, because I have 5 leagues now. I'm in 3 football ones and 2 basketball fantasies.
I cannot.
So I just did the first basketball one. I have another one. Shout out to Phoenix Mo coming in the following week before the season starts. But the thing of it is it's 12 players on this roster, and it's not hard. It's not easy. I mean,
No,
these top dogs go fast. And shout out to Natalie who joined last
I
minute
can't believe
last
you
night
got
because we
her
needed
on
one more
there.
player. We needed one more player, and she was willing to go ahead and sign up. And she was like, I was auto drafting half of the time, a little bit earlier. Then I jumped in. Shout out to B
Right.
Cal, who's in this fantasy league. I texted him like, "Good luck." He's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
B
I'm at
Cal's in
work."
it too. Oh
Oh
wow, y'all
yeah.
are doing it
He's like,
big.
"I'm
Yeah.
at work." But I said, "Are you auto draft? Because I saw your results. You got some players." He's like, "No, I did it myself." I was like, "Oh, okay, good." So I think everybody did fairly
Okay.
well. I picked up a lot of sleepers.
How
I
many people are
literally
in your league?
it's 12.
Okay.
So there's still some people out there. I mean, of course, you know who goes first. Joker.
Well, he's
Then
better. He
Joel
should. He
Embiid.
should. Okay.
And then
Really?
and yeah, Joel Embiid second. And then
Okay.
Mayshay Gilgis is a top contender. Like if you're playing the fantasy, you want SGA. And you
Okay.
want Giannis, of course, and I got Giannis. Thank God. Giannis sat for me. And I was
Okay.
like, I'm taking Giannis, right? And then you want to get, so you're set up with a point guard, a shooting guard, a guard, power forward, 2 centers, and then you have one forward position, and then you have utility, which is like your bench, and then injuries. So I did fairly well. I Googled as much as I could. I, at work, typed up some sheets
Your
in the
cheat
order.
sheets?
I
Okay.
gotta go get them real quick. I gotta go get them. This
Oh
is talk
Lord.
amongst
Here we
yourself. I
go.
gotta go. You gotta see them. Hold on. You gotta see them. I should have pulled them out of my purse. Let
I
me
just
go.
want to know how much prep time was put into all this. So, if you're tuning in now, just so you know, me and Mo are having our special After Dark episode today for Girl Chat Sports. And in about 15 minutes or so, we're going to have our special guest from the University of Washington's Nevada Alumni Chapter president on, Anthony Schlumpf. He's going to be joining us to talk about the big Oregon Washington game this weekend. But, Mo, let's see the sheets.
You think it's a game? I had the 5,000 points, the ones that'll give you 5,000 for the season. These are the top ones. So if you didn't get Joker, Joel Embiid, Giannis, or Luca, then you were out. Then I wrote down, I typed up, I'm such a kid, 4,000, who gets you 4,000 points for the season. So the list gets longer with that. Then I printed out a list of the sleepers. So I got a couple of the sleepers. Franz Wagner I got, Mark Williams I got. And then you got some honorable 2,000 point people, you know.
So it's a
And
point
then
league.
everyone else that does. And then I'm so crazy. I typed up my sheet in the order. So when I got them, I wrote what I needed.
Oh my gosh. You don't even prep like this for football. I guess basketball is just more important to you right now.
Basketball's harder because it's every week, every other day. And there's so many players out there. It is harder to draft for basketball than it is football. Football's easy. I do that light. I write a few things down. I do have a little paperwork with that, but nothing to this extent. This is a lot.
Yeah, this is why. That's Mo's fantasy basketball draft today, you guys. So
this is what I have. I'm just gonna go through the list. I got Trae Young as my point guard, so that was a good pickup. I got Franz Wagner, he was the sleeper guy. I got Darius Garland as my guard. I got D'Angelo Russell. Got deloading. I got Paolo Banchero for my shooting forward. He could play three positions.
He's from Seattle.
And then I got Pascal Siakam. I also got Jabari Smith, Mark Williams, and I didn't write my other person. I can't remember who else. Oh, Trent. Okay. I got. I didn't want Dylan Brooks, so I tried to go for Terry Rozier. Freaking Natalie scooped him, but I think I got Bruce Brown from Denver.
Okay.
So I'll say Bruce Brown's going to be. Yeah, hey Heather, hey Miss Ball and D. I'm just showing my basketball fantasy stuff, but I got Bruce Brown, so I'm very curious to see if he starts. My brother looked at my lineup. He's like,
it is officially, of course, preseason for the NBA has started, hence why Mo's going crazy for her NBA fantasy draft right now.
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football just ended. The Chiefs, of course, won, not by the margin I would have thought, but because of the defense-ish of the Broncos and the continued struggles of Russell Wilson, who had his 500th career sack at today's game.
I mean, they covered the -10, barely.
But here's what I didn't know. If anybody out there was watching, there was an over-under for the amount of times Taylor Swift was shown on TV because she was there. She was at the game. Right. And they had an over-under. So when the announcer showed her the last time, I think when Kelsey had like 100 receiving yards, they said, I think if we show her now, you're still good with the under. So I don't know what the over-under was, but hopefully that means they limited the amount of times they put her on the TV for the whole trailer effect.
Yeah, her film just came out, and Beyonce made an appearance to it. Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
Shout out to my mom checking in. Hi, yeah.
Thanks for the birthday wishes, too.
Yes. Heather said she's been invited to join fantasy basketball and just can't commit to listen, I can't commit to it. Every day you got to change your lineup.
You got to research and you got to Google.
But you got to change that lineup like daily. Field ball, it's like once a week and I'm good.
Well, you can, like I told Natalie, you can hit start your players for the week and it auto does it, but you still want to go in and tweak every once in a while.
You need
But I got a whole bunch of young Tito's. I didn't go for the big names.
You love your young Tito's though. That's part of your thing. That's part of your
Zion sat out for a long time. AD was a good pickup for B-Cal. He got him. I mean, we'll see if he plays the 82 games. You know, you just don't know with these guys. Yeah. Some of these guys that are in these rosters for draft are already game time decision. No one picked up Ja Morant. Ja Morant's out because of his situation. So he's out there in the universe, you know. Somebody could probably flex him later when he's ready to come back. But yeah, he's out.
I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, so we've got a lot that's been happening in Las Vegas. Of course, you know, the city is still prepping for the F1 that's coming next month in November. Still streets and construction everywhere. It's crazy. So just be careful out there. But the Las Vegas Aces are the WNBA finals on Sunday. They had game 1. Wednesday was game 2. We both went to a game. Phenomenal. Here's just a little clip of the energy of the crowd.
Here are the afternoon starting lineups versus the visiting New York Liberty.
I mean, you really can't beat it. So first game, there was Tom Brady, there was LeBron James. Go to our Instagram at GirlChatSports or our Facebook at GirlChatSports. You can see those videos. We had Jordan Sparks with the national anthem on Sunday. We had Ashanti halftime show Sunday. You had Tank for the halftime or for the national anthem on Wednesday. And then you had Too Short halftime performance on Wednesday. So, I mean,
And the A-listers were
Vegas,
there.
right?
Like we had Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, a Laker fan who
Yeah.
usually is like this Laker guy. Wanda
I'm
Sykes.
mad. Ted Lasso was there
I
yesterday
didn't
with
see
his
Jason
daughter.
Sudeikis. They never said
Oh my
anything.
gosh. He's a Liberty fan, so he had his teal on, but I was like, man, I wish I would have wore my Ted Lasso shirt to the game and went yesterday just so I could have seen him. I love
Yeah,
Jason
Jason
Sudeikis. I
Sudeikis is
love
funny.
Ted
He's dope.
Lasso. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and then Vivica
amazing,
Fox.
amazing. And Vivica
Who'd have thunk it?
Fox. I mean, who would have thunk it? I mean, it's Wanda. You just said Wanda.
Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes was there. Yes.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
big times in Vegas. I know New York's going to turn it out. They're going to have their celebrities out there too for their game 3. So game 3 is going to be Sunday at noon our time at Barclays. We're up 2-0. Okay. We beat them by 16 or 17 points game 1. We won by almost like 25, 27 points game 2. They were up 19-2 in the first 4 minutes of your game on Wednesday.
Shout out to Alicia Clark for hitting that hundo for us to get us over the hundo.
Hello.
And then go to the line.
So highest scoring first period in the WNBA finals in history. They had 38 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Second quarter, they fell back, but they ended up pushing it. I mean, literally, I had friends texting me about like, why are the starters still in? They're up by 25 points. I go, Becky don't care right now. Becky is pushing it to the gas. The subs will be in at 2 minutes. And right about 2 minutes and 30 seconds is when the rest of the bench showed in.
Actually, they came in sooner than that. It was like 3 minutes they were in.
Oh, okay.
Except Chelsea Gray. She ran the point and then they sat her down after she got a little established. They got a little comfortable. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But, they had that lead for most of the.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just
it was a while. So
it was
great.
But, totally not an empty chair in the house. The energy was electric. Tank was throwing out T-shirts. I got to see Tank on my way to the restroom when you go, how you go down that hall before you go to the dining. Saw Tank, he smiled and winked at me, and I was like, Tank. He was like, yes.
So Miss Bondi said Tank's performance was a no for her. What did you think of his national anthem?
Because I was in the dining. So like I said, I
getting
walked
food.
To he was coming out. I missed it. I saw it on the monitors. He looked good.
I did hear that Too Short's performance was way better than Rick Ross's. Like, period.
What? Really?
That's what I heard. Yeah, I've had a few people reach out to me like Too Short was because Rick Ross, he literally stood in one position and didn't even move his feet. He just stood there. Like,
well, then I guess that would make it better.
Too Short is just
But it wasn't a great show. That's why I'm like, really? Because it was kind of mid. He didn't do much either. So that's why I'm like, really? But if you're saying Rock Ross didn't move and staying in one place, I guess that's a leg up. Too Short walked around.
I guess. Yeah, Too Short. And plus, I'm sure most people in this genre at the WNBA game probably may recognize Too Short songs maybe a little more than Rick Ross's, perhaps. I don't know.
Because I like that he brought the dance team out to dance with him. That was cool.
Yeah, the dance teams. Listen, the High Rollers put it on Sunday, had a new routine and killed it. Used the towels. I was amazed. I love the High Rollers.
I like them too. Shout out to those ladies.
Miss Bondi, Ashanti was definitely. I loved Ashanti's performance. It was dope. So that was really good.
I'm sure it was better than Coyle Ray too.
Right. Here's just a quick, so the LeBron, the Tom Brady's, Cheryl Stoops was there, of course. Mark Wahlberg was there in game 1, so that was good. This was yesterday's press conference. I've never seen all 5 starters at one time in the press conference. Usually it's like the coach, then 2 players, the coach, 1 player. But it was crazy to see all 5 of them. It looked like they were getting in trouble, like, having to get in trouble at high school or something and be in detention. It was really cool. The ladies loaded their plane for New York today. They will be out there getting it ready for game 3 again on Sunday. Game 4, if needed, will be on Wednesday there in New York. And if needed, game 5 will be here back in Las Vegas next Friday. If the Aces win, and if and when the Aces win, it'll be the first back-to-back championship in 21 years of the WNBA.
Yeah, and that's just the Los Angeles Sparks.
Yeah. Got to get it. So I don't know. It's like, I think I was expecting more from the Liberty in game 2, just because we've seen the whole season how they played us. We had a tie record leading up into the finals. I expected a lot more. I mean, Sabrina Ionescu was barely there. I think JJ was the only person that really performed.
Van LeChue couldn't buy a shot if she wanted to.
It was crazy. Brianna
But
Stewart was
there were some good plays. I mean, there were some good steals, a couple attempts, but
I
you
mean,
know, when
Kia
they go
came
back,
out, had 8 points last night, which is way more than her
right,
usual 1 or 2. You had, Asia
it's
and
about
Kelsey
time.
and Jackie Young having her highest, career point, and I think her career high in playoffs was like
Yeah,
26 on Monday. Kelsey had
yeah.
26 Monday. Everybody
They,
was in the
I
20s,
mean,
it
they
seemed
got
like yesterday.
numbers. I mean, they put up numbers. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sleep
So,
on the Liberty. I'm not going to talk mess about the Liberty. I'm not going to say they
uh-uh.
put off the gas. I don't need any kind of motivation for what they need to do. But get out there.
Right.
I just want a good series at this point. I want a good series. Love to see the ladies do it back to back, but I want to see a good get. And Jacquel Jones, I'm gonna need you to tone it down a little bit. She's throwing them bows. She's getting in there, just being
I
mad.
mean,
She was already in foul trouble first quarter, like two. She already had 2 fouls in her. I thought she would
yeah.
have fouled out. She could have fouled out. I think the refs.
I mean,
kinda on that.
Alicia had 3 fouls, I think, in the 3rd quarter, so it was kinda
Yeah,
like, "Okay, let's just all," but thank God for her too, because we need that defensive skill set on her end
we
and,
do.
her
We need
ability
that
to
on Alicia Kirk
cover,
because
yeah.
Kia Stokes act like she ain't trying to do it. So we
But
need
she's
Alicia.
bored and she's shooting threes. Everybody says that Kia can shoot, but because Kia's like, "Listen, I got 4 other dominant players on my team. Why wouldn't I pass the ball to them?" So now that she's taking shots and she's making them, maybe
But I, no,
we'll
but
see
I
if
barely. I
I
need you to get them
mean,
rebounds too,
okay.
Kia. Like, come on. I need you to get the rebounds. I need you not to have butterfingers. I need you to be like,
Miss Valenti said, "You know it'll be a long night when Kia's launching 3-pointers and making them."
yeah, for real.
Absolutely.
Say that like it is, because I
So
that
so we
girl.
had the Aces Sunday. Monday was Monday Night Football with the Raiders. The Vegas
Yes,
Gold Knights were there with their Stanley Cup at the Raiders Stadium. Um, your Raiders beat the Packers.
maybe because the Stanley Cup was in the building, a winner
Is
was
that
there.
it? Is
Maybe.
that
I
it?
mean,
Well,
I
I know
wasn't
they
kind
won
of.
when the Aces were there too for their championship win. So maybe it's
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't. I mean, I love that Lord Stanley got to visit Allegiant, but I kind of like am kind of not tired of the Knights, but I feel
yeah.
like we need to, our Raiders need to have their moment too. But I guess there's no moment to be had because we suck.
Okay.
So
Well,
it
hey, at
worked.
least you got another win. You're not going to be tied with Denver or at the bottom of the AFC West with Denver. So, hey, at least you got that going for you guys,
Hey,
right?
we'll take it. We'll take
We'll
it. It
take
was
it.
good to have Devontae
All
Adams
right.
out there for the few minutes that he had because his shoulder was bothering him, and so he played limited. But you know,
Right.
so many issues with this Raiders organization. There was many opportunities we could convert off of interceptions and turnovers and different types of positions of us being in the red zone, and we just could never convert. And it just kind of got
It is what
real
it is.
dicey. But shout out to our defense. Shout out to Jacoby
Yes.
Myers for showing up.
Yes.
Shout out to Mad Max for getting out there and trying to do his thing. Because let me tell you, it was rough. And poor Jimmy. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
We play the
Well,
Patriots
speaking
on
of the big,
Sunday, back-to-back
yeah,
home
and
games. So
so we had the Raiders on Monday who won. We had the Vegas Gold Knights on Tuesday for the season opener
how was
where they
that?
lifted and raised the banner. Shout out to Sarah for hooking me up with one of her tickets. I appreciate it. It
Yeah,
was
that's dope.
amazing. We hung out for probably half the parade. We enjoyed seeing sights. We saw our guy Brian Salmon as well as Jesse Merrick from News 3, 2 of our faves. We got to see a lot of the guys close up on the gold carpet. And it was pretty cool. We got to hang out with some friends. We enjoyed ourselves.
Good.
That banner is dope. I will say, because they didn't lift it where they're placing it, they should have lifted it from the center of the ice, because no matter where you put it, they put it in the corner kind of by the helmet where the helmet usually is on the ice. And so they had people that couldn't see it. Yeah, people in the lower bowl that were complaining they couldn't see it, so they had to watch it from the screen. People in the upper bowl couldn't, just depend. I think like you would have dropped it down the middle. Everybody pretty
Well,
much
we're
could have
vanilla
had
to
that
winning
game.
a championship. We didn't expect this Golden Knights team to be so young and to win something like this. They'll get it together
Right.
on the next one.
Yes,
It's going to
yes,
take some
yes,
time, but we'll
yes,
take
yes.
it. That was dope. That was great. Shout out
We
to
will
Vegas
take
Auto
it.
Gallery who carded Lord Stanley and some of the
Yes.
players in their Rolls Royce convertible in the pre-show. Like before you go in, they had a red carpet. So Lord Stanley was in the back seat of one of the Rolls Royce Dons that we had.
Yeah, when
Cool.
me and Sarah pulled up, we actually were coming there right after Mark Stone and Lord Stanley were pulling up on the convertible there. So it was pretty
Nice.
nice. It was a nice car. It was a very nice car.
Very nice car. Yeah.
It
Shout
was.
out to Marky coming into the dealership. I didn't get anything signed from him. I had no idea he was coming. Saw him. It was like, oh my God. Jonathan Marchessault is right in front of me right now. It said hi to me. I'm like, hi.
Right. Hey, so we have our guest online ready to go. Yes, we do. So I want to make sure we give a good introduction to the president of the Alumni Association Nevada chapter here in Las Vegas for the University of Washington, Mr. Anthony Schlumpf. Sorry, I know I left the L out before, so I apologize. But thank you. Wait, I got to turn my hat back around too, just for this segment, so I can make sure. I got, a lot going on here. So, Anthony, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. I know you're busy. So, we had to have you on and talk a little about this upcoming game we got this weekend.
Oh, I appreciate you all. First of all, Mel and Mo, thank you for having me on the show. Looks like you guys got a great production going on here. I love it. And I love it what you guys are doing here in the Vegas, representing the Vegas sports, of course.
Yes.
VGK, raise that cup.
Yes. Amazing.
I got to start the podcast out right? We celebrate championship.
Got to show off the little, banners that they got too, which apparently ran out towards the end of the game. I didn't realize, but there were some fans that were pretty pissed off.
So I couldn't get a banner, huh?
No, because they literally
I'm sure they're
only let you have one. Yeah, listen, everything's floating on eBay. So, but we're happy to have you here. I know we're going to talk. We're going to talk about the alumni group here in Las Vegas for the University of Washington, of course. My alma mater, your alma mater, not Mo's, but we're all here together. There's a big game this weekend. I want to play a quick little video that College Game Day put on in regards to College Game Day is coming back to Red Square, University of Washington for the second time in history. I don't remember the first year. I know it was 2000.
I think it's actually the third time. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure if we've ever won on College Game Day. But you know what? It is a third because we had USC once and we had Oregon once.
Oh,
I
just know that the
USC on that one we had.
Okay, well, here's a little promo for College Game Day coming up this Saturday.
October 14th, Oregon and Washington is a brawl.
Nobody's playing better than Michael Penix Jr.
We've all been watching Bo Nix orchestrate.
Washington at home with so much at stake, you can't go against a dog.
That fired me up.
Really excited, right?
What an exciting
makes you want
promo.
There. Yes, yeah. So
Absolutely.
College Game Day is live from Red Square. It starts at 6:00 in the morning, our time. This is your battle of, here's the deal. Pac-12 has been dominant in the college football AP polls all year long so far. This is probably the most the Pac-12 has been in the top 25. We've got two undefeated Pac-12 teams, Oregon coming into Washington. I think it's number 7, or is it 7 and 8 or 8 or 9? I can't remember. 8 or 9? I think it's 8 and 9 or 7 and 8.
I believe the Huskies are number 6 in the coaches poll and number 7 in the AP. And I believe Oregon's number 8 in both.
Okay, 7 and 8. All right. Yeah. So two dominant teams in the Pac-12. We've got two potential two Heisman Trophy candidates in their quarterback, Bo Nix, as well as ours, Michael Penix Jr. Can you? I don't know where to begin with. Anthony, give us your kind of take on what you're expecting for this weekend, and we'll also talk about the watch party later on as well. But give us your take for this 5-0 battle in Seattle.
I'd love to. Thank you for giving me that privilege. First of all, I'm just going to go out right and say I'm going to predict the Dogs to win. Okay. You already know. Hey. You already know that's coming from me. So
hello.
You can't deny it, right? What do I represent? Go Dogs, first of all. But it's going to be a tough game. That's for sure. These teams are rivals, and we hate the Ducks, and they know that. I know they hate us. They hate us, and
Okay.
It's a bloody rivalry that does not get enough it doesn't get enough credibility on the national spotlight every year. But this is the first time these two teams are facing off with both teams being in the top 10. Surprised that that's actually true, but I did see that stat this week, and it's going to be a fight. Both teams are very prolific offenses, with of course Heisman quarterbacks, as you mentioned, Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. So Penix is more of a pocket quarterback. He's going to throw, and he's probably one of the most accurate guys that's going to be able to throw the deep ball in the whole entire NCAA. Nix, he's going to beat you with the legs. So, they're both very versatile quarterbacks too. I mean, I know if Penix has to run, he can. He just hasn't had to because the offensive line has really done a great job for him in protecting him this year. And
he's got some amazing wide receivers. Odunze, my personal favorite, but I mean, he's got like what they call the three-headed monster out there to toss to. So why run when you got people to catch?
I'd even give credibility to the fourth wide receiver. Because I know you're probably talking about Odunze, Polk, McMillan, and then of course Jeremy Bernard. He's a local guy from Vegas too, just like Odunze. And those guys, don't sleep on Bernard because he showed you what he could do against Michigan State. Scored that first touchdown there too, and he's great. Great to have him as a new contribution to our team this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Troy Fontano, the offensive lineman, they're holding it down. He's also from Vegas. Got to mention the Vegas kids real quick. But that offense is really something. I think it's really going to come down to a defensive battle, and which defense can come up with the best turnover ratio is really what this game usually does come down to really when it comes to these two teams. It's going to probably come down to how that plays out in the fourth quarter as well, because I anticipate this game to be tight. It was tight last year. We won it by a field goal. We stopped them on a fourth down that they decided to go for it because they're Oregon. They always go for it on fourth down. And last year that played into our benefit, So that's how we won it last year. And that was in Eugene, a lot harder place to play. So
Absolutely.
This is going to be at home. I imagine both
a sold out crowd, by the way, which has not happened in a while. So we're going to see the best place in college football, in my opinion, sold out for a Saturday day game. It's going to be pretty much an amazing spot. I wish I could have been there on Saturday, but
call it the greatest setting in college football. That's what it's titled as. For reasons.
My hope is just that our team, the Huskies, can maintain their first half dominance into the second half, because in the last few games we've kind of slacked off in the second half. We haven't had the same consistency. We haven't had the same drives, and so it's made those scores closer in the end result when we could have been blowing teams out left and right, because if we would have kept the gas on our foot on the gas pedal, we would have.
100%. I'm glad you mentioned that, because the last game that they played against Arizona right before the bye, that was the first game that Penix actually played all four quarters. So they've been dominant by so much in every game so far. They haven't really been challenged, and for him to only play 3 quarters of every game, that's actually been good to give him rest, good to give our backups a little bit more rest. Morris, he comes in, it's his third year with the team anyway, so good to get him some reps just in case anything ever happens. And then but it was really good that they got challenged last week or 2 weeks ago actually against Arizona, just to give them the 4 quarters of having the starters play through it and everything. So I think that can actually be a good thing that game was so tight last week. Kind of get a little reality check of, hey, welcome back to Pac-12 football.
Yeah, I feel like Arizona or Arizona State, one of them is always like they don't care if they're 0-12. They're going to try and beat us or somebody, whether it be us or Oregon or USC, because they want to make a point, and it seems to always happen. So it was good that
I think it's just tough to play in the desert. That's why they just do well at home, both those teams.
Right.
It's these Northwest teams come in and they're the forest teams with the rain, they're used to the climate up there. Then they go down to the desert. It's still like 80 degrees, 85 in October. And they're just gassed in the third, fourth quarter. And you got to finish, but this game's at home against Oregon. So this game
is going to be good.
It's going to be hyped.
It's going to be very exciting. One other thing I know me and Mo have talked about throughout the between last year and this year is like the transfer portal, the effect the transfer portal has had on college sports. We see how Colorado and Dion has been doing through the transfer portal. Of course, Penix came through the transfer portal, almost 2 years ago now. How that can play a big role for teams like us and Oregon that are moving on from Pac-12 to Big Ten. We're going to be on a bigger viewing stature, I guess. We'll be playing in bigger stadiums. We're going to be seeing stadiums that fit 100,000+ fans in them. What kind of effect do you think it is for the Pac-12 move to the Big Ten for our school or for most of the Pac? Yeah.
Well, yeah, for all the teams that are going, the two SoCal teams and us in Oregon. I think it's a good move, but I mean, I'm still cautiously skeptical about it because when the new athletic director that just took over for UW,
right,
he mentioned that because of the positioning that they had to put themselves in when it came to the amount of money that they're getting compared to the other Big Ten teams that have already been there, we're getting a lot less on this first contract. So because of that, he mentioned just yesterday, I believe, that they're going to have as many home games as possible that are going to be non-conference. And what that means is they're probably going to have to get rid of the home and away Apple Cup battles for a while. And I'm not too happy about losing that tradition at all. I definitely wanted to mention because that really sat in my heart today when I woke up this morning and I heard that news, because I mean, that's the Apple Cup tradition.
Listen, I'm planning to try and go there this year because it could be the last one at Husky Stadium for who knows how long. I mean, tough. Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're going to bring it back, but until we get that new contract or they get more money, they have to compete with all the other Big Ten teams. So, I mean, they got to compete with the Ohio States, the Michigans, and then of course you still got to compete with USC, UCLA. And by the way, since you brought it up, what do you think about how they came out with the schedule and we're actually not potted together with all of the other old Pac-12 teams in the new format of the Big Ten scheduling? Like, we're not getting USC and UCLA every year.
Yeah, I think that was done probably on purpose, mainly so that we're getting seen in other maybe markets or whatnot. I mean, some of those games I saw, I was just like, wow, like now I need to go out to, some of these schools where I've never been to before just to catch a game. But it's unfortunate because I mean, being I'm from the Pac-10, so I still want to see the teams that I grew up with, and playing them, going to California for games, being at USC, even though I hate their stadium, doing some of those things and having that rivalry with Washington State and of course with Oregon. So it's difficult that we can't still maintain that throughout the seasons. But I feel like the fact that they dropped schedules like 2 years in advance, 3 years in advance, all the way to 2007 or 2008, I was like, I can't even look at this right now. Like, my mind doesn't have time to program what's happening 4 years from now. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe there'll be some changes. I'm not sure, but
I believe it was just temporary anyways, and I think it's subject to change, of course. I mean, I did notice that we only have to play Ohio State once out of the next 4 or 5 years, so that's not a bad deal, really. No. We're getting Michigan almost every year, though, I believe. So, and I actually like that because, if we're talking about tradition, I'm thinking about how I grew up in the 80s, and we were getting that Michigan
national championships.
I mean, those Rose Bowls in the 80s, it was Michigan or Iowa. So those were some good memories. And I think that would be great to play Michigan every year.
It would be. When I was looking into the college game day stuff, there was a post that I've known that Joel McHale was a big Seahawks and Husky fan, right? We knew he was on College Game. I didn't know Joel McHale actually played for UW.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know he did either.
I don't know if this was a costume, but it's him in front of Husky Stadium way back in the day. I don't know if I need to do a fact check, but I had no idea Joel McHale was. Play?
Or is that just him wearing a shirt?
It would seem as though it's legit. I don't know. I got to do a Google search. I don't know, Mo, if you're on it.
No, really
Joel McHale. I had no idea.
My friend, actually, one of the Vegas alumni guys out here, he actually told me that he was in his fraternity.
Okay. Yeah, I believe it.
So maybe he was in a fraternity.
Hey, Listen, I can say this. The people always are amazed by my parallel parking skills. So I can literally parallel park like a 15-passenger van with no room. And they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, listen, I went to school at UW. You had to. You had to know how to parallel park in the Greek rows just to be able to park and walk to campus. Like that was how you made life exist. I mean, you played bumper cars. Nobody had a nice car because you played bumper cars to parallel park with other college students on campus. But
Yeah, that was
speaking of which, we want to talk about the watch parties that the Nevada Husky Alumni Association for the University of Washington have here in Las Vegas. You guys do watch parties at Spagos, correct?
Name is Sagos, but yeah, close.
Sagos. I don't know why I always say Spagos. God.
Yeah, Sagos. It's up on Fort Apache, and cross street is close to Tropicana on the west side of town. 4790 South Fort Apache Road is where you guys can find us. We're there every Husky game day. We are anticipating the best crowd that we've ever had there for this game, hopefully. So hopefully y'all show up. I want both of you guys there if you guys can make it too, hopefully.
I'm moving. Like I literally have, I'm literally moving this weekend. So I have to be at my new place to like ensure things are getting done. But I'm hoping to either catch a part of the game at the bar. Hopefully I can make it. I'm just really mad that it happened to be on like the biggest game of the year for me here. So we'll try to be there. I've heard the only great things about Saga. I mean, I just have heard that the restaurant itself is great. They've got a good happy hour. You mentioned. I know you guys have had some wonderful freebies, some giveaways there for the Husky fans. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
This one away. Like you said, also some other giveaways. This is a 1960s national championship jersey.
Wow.
Stop.
We're gonna give that we're doing that this Saturday. So doing that, we got a whole bunch of little other prizes as well that we do. We do like raffles and $3 Wells drinks, $7 for other food items. You can't beat those deals. These guys didn't even move their prices up with inflation this year because we delivered such a great crowd for them last year. They wanted to honor their prices. I think it just came down to like we had all the menus made from last year for our Husky happy hour. So, the management over at Sagos has been really great. Also want to give a quick shout out just to all my core members from the alumni that have been there and helping me build this thing over there. Like Nick, Iman, Dennis, Jodine, you guys all bring it every week. We got Dennis doing the halftime trivia for us. Nick's made some of the gear for us, some giveaways as well. Jodine helps whenever I couldn't make it a couple times. And, Iman, our VP, he does a lot for us as well. So, these guys, we have a really great village, actually. It takes a village to run this thing. It's not just me. So I don't want to take all the credit, so, and I inherited
need a team behind you. That's for sure.
Yeah. I kind of inherited like from my father as well. Yeah. He was the dog father in Las Vegas before me. So he was the guy. And
that's when I knew about the group is when I was going to the watch parties back when he was doing them. And I think I continued getting those emails as you took over. So that's why I was like, oh, it's still around. And then I just, getting caught up and it's different now. Cause now that we're on a lot of ESPN or ABC game times, it's nice. But when it's on Pac-12 network, not everybody has Pac-12 network. And so you got to try and find the place that has the games, and to have Sagos have that, being able to be providing that service every week for a game day is just wonderful.
Yeah. And they've been great. They've been happy to work with me. And, so they're going to help us give out some other giveaways from them. I'm not going to disclose them yet, exactly what they're going to help us, but we've got some awesome giveaways for the end of the season for the people that are going to be there every week. And, we'll do a raffle for that as well. So, we started this thing out when I took over. It was only like 4 to 6 people every week. And we had a down year that year too. So they couldn't be happier of, 25, 30 people coming every week now.
Well, then you had COVID and everything else.
Yeah, that's pretty much why it was as low as it was. It was mostly from COVID. Yeah.
Well, we're happy that you've got this going. I've seen some of the pictures. The crowd looks good. I know this game is probably going to be one of the biggest turnouts you'll probably see, hopefully, if not more, throughout the season. I'm definitely going to try and get there if I can. But again, if you could just give us the time. So the game's at 12:30. Sure. What time do people usually start coming in?
12:30. A lot of people probably get there about 15, 20 minutes early. I see that's a good time to, try to roll in. You'll get a seat, there's plenty of seating in that area. They've renovated the whole place. They got amazing high definitions, new screens on every wall now. it's great. And then, I want to give a plug for what I've been talking to the alumni about as well, because the Pac-12 championship game, you guys know where that's at?
Here in Las Vegas.
Right down the street.
It's an SEC team too, right? This year, which is like the first time in a long time. Oh, not the championship. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Las Vegas Bowl.
Oh, the Las Vegas Bowl is going to be an SEC team? I didn't hear about that.
I think it's Pac-12 and SEC.
Really?
I think it might have been last year too. I can't remember. But anyway, but the Pac-12 championship out here. So I know that's going to be critical for this game with Oregon and Washington, because the winner most likely would be that champion. Yeah.
The winner will most likely get into the game, and the loser will still have a chance, but both teams still have to play USC and Utah. And you know who's a sleeper this year? Don't sleep on Oregon State. They look good.
Listen, even Washington State, like all these quarterbacks coming out of Pac-12 right now, it's just like really dominant time, which is amazing for like the hoorah, see you later Pac-12, like, tour out of here. But,
right now, the only two teams without a conference is Oregon State and Wazoo. Washington. Oregon State and Wazoo. Yeah. So you got to hear my joke, because I think these guys have been listening to a lot of Tupac. Because that's pretty much what they are now. So,
the last two Pac-12, the Tupac, got it.
The Tupac, come on now. I'm gonna have a meme coming.
Anthony, it was cute.
Come on.
It was cute.
We'll give you credit. It's different. I think for those who were kind of like Tupac. Oh yeah, Pac, got it. Yeah. Okay. Took it a second. We got it. We're with you. Well, we appreciate you coming on here. We definitely I'll definitely catch up with you and stay in touch. Hopefully we'll make it at some point during the game, and for sure, go Dogs. Let's get this win. And if nothing else, we'll catch you in the future for sure.
And for all those Oregon Ducks fans listening, you guys know that we're 61-48 against you. We're still up by 13. We're still up by 13.
Hey.
Yes.
Let them know.
Good nugget to drop. Very good nugget to drop.
I love it.
Oh, we got to get the Heisman winner. That's literally the only statistic that Oregon has over us. They have a Heisman winner and we don't. That's the only thing that they've got us on. It's it.
We need it. Yeah. It'd be great.
It's been a pleasure,
ladies. It's happening. Speak it into existence. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate you from the University of Washington, Nevada Alumni Chapter. We thank you. And hopefully we'll see you again on Saturday. But again, go Dogs.
Dogs up. See up. Later, ladies. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Nice. Cool. Oh, so excited for the game, and I can't believe I got stuff to do, which is like the worst timing in the world. But hey, so one thing I didn't mention about in our Vegas sports also was the Lights have their last game. It's going to be at the ballpark. Here's the deal, you guys. $45 gets you an all-you-can-eat plus 2 beers and a match ticket. All you can eat is, I think, hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, peanuts, pretzels, soda, water, all that stuff. But $45. I think tickets are usually like $15, $20 anyway.
Right.
So
that's still not bad.
How do you not want that? And it's at the Las Vegas ballpark. It's like a more beautiful setting. The beautiful setting.
By the way, the Knights are playing tonight. They're playing against the San Jose Sharks.
Are they? I saw someone having a watch. Red Rock had a watch party tonight.
So we're in the second period and the score is tied.
Okay.
We just started the second period. So it's 1-1.
Okay, well.
So go Knights go.
Go Knights go.
The overlapping of seasons of sports. Got hockey. Got postseason baseball. We've got football. Then soon to be basketball. So all our little holy circle is coming to one. So I'm looking forward to it, though. I'm excited.
It's going to be interesting.
It
So
is.
we talked a little about the football. We have to talk about Thursday Night Football. We need to talk about briefly just the Cowboys and how much they have completely their fan base. You thought your fan base was getting done with the Raiders. I think the Cowboys fan base is over.
I don't think so.
They showed the score after, Sunday Night Football when they lost to the Niners 42-10, that the Rangers, the baseball team in Texas, had more points than the Cowboys, than the football team there in Texas. That's just
I think the Rangers play the Orioles tonight. I think this is like the last.
No, the Rangers swept the Orioles.
Oh, yeah, the Rangers swept the Orioles. Yeah, they're done.
They're
it's
done.
Braves and Phillies.
And the Phillies won too.
And they did. Yep.
Yep. And thanks to again another Vegas star, Bryce. What's Bryce? Bryce Harper.
Yeah, Bryce Harper for the Phillies.
He dealt it for the Phillies. So
yeah,
we've got Rangers, Astros, Diamondbacks, Phillies. I know you don't want to stick on Major League Baseball too hard because your Dodgers.
Well, let's start it with game one.
I mean, like you mentioned, I think, but here's the deal. We've talked about this before because you've mentioned this every game, every season for whatever sport. If you're number one seed, you hate it because it never goes through. It never follows through to win the championship. And we saw the Dodgers, number one.
You can have 100 wins and it doesn't mean anything.
Got swept.
Yeah, and it does not for nothing. It's not like Kershaw was 100% in game one anyway. But when you have someone like from the Arizona Diamondbacks by the name of Gabriel Moreno, who wants to do not one, not two, but 3 home runs within the first inning with 5 players at bat.
I think it was 4 home runs, wasn't it? Or
3.
No? Well, or no, he had 3, but the team had 4.
And then there were 2 more because the score was like 5-0 is what it is.
When I saw that score, I was like, what inning is it? And I was like, the first inning? How was this the first inning?
That has never happened before in the league.
Unbelievable.
So that started it. So then game 2 was just kind of a mess because we had RBIs from the Diamondbacks that were just kind of, their bats were hot. And defensively, we couldn't do anything. And shout out to Max Muncy, former Dodger, third baseman. Advances on, you got a ring from us and you possibly can.
I enjoyed that they actually took advantage of the pool there at the stadium there in Arizona. And they all got their champagne showers. Cool. Then they all jumped in the pool. Yeah, I was loving it. So
yeah, I like that.
That's what they need out here in Vegas. So
I guess that's all right. Maybe when the A's come here, they'll have a pool too and all that.
Yeah, hey.
But I'm not sad about my dog. I mean, I'm sad, but what are you gonna do? This happens every year. This is 3 years now going, so I don't know.
But they are it's the 8th time in the Major League Baseball history with a team over 100 wins has been swept in their first series of the playoffs.
So we got some real talking to do. Manfred's got to talk to Dave Roberts. We've got to see what looks like in postseason. We've got Freddie Freeman from the Braves, and we still couldn't close. Not to mention we lost Urias to his domestic situation. So we got to have a little bit of drama as we got later into the postseason.
And the Braves lost it to the Phillies. I just can't believe how they choked too.
I mean, no one's going to ever be able to win a back-to-back. I mean, that's just it's a hard thing to do, except our aces.
Well, even the first, I mean, in the NLDS, like you didn't even make it to the championship series.
No.
I don't know.
No.
2 things I wanted to bring up on football real quick before we finish up and move on to picks because we have picks to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watch Pat McAfee. I watch Pat McAfee. I enjoy his show. So every week he's got Aaron Rodgers on. I just thought, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is like his buddy, like Pat McAfee. Always, he's always on the show like every week. Once a week, it's an Aaron Rodgers segment. I don't know what day it is. It's a certain day. Well, come to find out, Rodgers gets paid over $1 million to be there every week for the season.
On Pat McAfee's show?
$1 million.
How much does Pat McAfee make?
I mean, no, but they're paying him over $1 million to do a whatever 5-minute, 10-minute segment on his show every week. I'm over $1 million. We all just thought that him and Pat were kind of buddy, and he was just doing it out of the goodness graces of his heart. No, Aaron Rodgers is getting paid to do that little 5 minutes once a week. 5 minutes once a week is like crazy. The other thing I need.
McAfee's net worth is $30 million. That's fair. He got a huge deal with ESPN, so they got that money. I just want to make sure it's worth. Like, could you imagine you're interviewing or you got somebody on your show that's making more money for 5 minutes than you?
I mean, he's probably making more than the rest of the guys on his show. I mean, he's probably he makes good, but everybody else in that show ain't making $1 million a year. He's usually got his 2 side guys, and he always has a coach on for a third person. They aren't making no $1 million a year. And this is on top of how much money did Aaron Rodgers get paid, and is sitting on, is sitting doing rehab because he can't play. I mean, listen, I ain't mad at him, but yeah.
My
we know that
right now.
Week 5 took more injury tolls. It went crazy with the injuries again. Justin Jefferson, IR. Anthony Richardson gone for another who knows how long. Daniel Jones got injured. Leighton Vander Esch got injured. Deshaun Watson is going to be out again for the Browns, and no one seems to understand why still. James Conner's on IR. Zay Jones, Juju Smith. The list goes on. So if you're on fantasy football, it's almost impossible to find anybody to replace whether you're bye week players or injured players, because there literally is nobody left but maybe like a third string receiver or a third string tight end. It's almost impossible and crazy.
So real quick, to go back to the McAfee thing, because I'm in a rabbit hole with this. He actually pays Aaron. He pays Aaron Rodgers $1 million.
He personally pays him.
He pays him the $85 million of his contract. He cuts into it to pay him $1 million to be on there.
When you're making bread, I guess you just share it. I
don't know about that.
I'm just curious if Aaron Rodgers asked for it or if he just said, "Yo, I'm going to give you $1 million just for doing it." Look, I know you're going to end up being down this rabbit hole.
Do I want to give up money in my contract to have Aaron Rodgers on the show? I guess if it'll make me richer, that's.
Well, here's the deal. A lot of those stories that broke on Aaron Rodgers were because of his show. Him wanting out of the Packers, him going to the Jets, him on their wellness retreat, him Ashkawatsa, whatever it's called. I mean, those were all coming off of his show. So, I mean, at some point it made you the money. You signed that ESPN deal mainly off a lot of the stuff that happened with the Aaron Rodgers story. So I guess it's like his 10% or
win-win,
15%.
man. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to go back to that because I just was like, what?
I get it. Hey, real quick, girl power, Teresa Witherspoon. Teaspoon gets hired by the Chicago Sky. She's obviously a Hall of Famer for the WNBA. She was part of the New York Liberty's inception with the WNBA. She had 4 years coaching with the New Orleans Pelicans, and the WNBA now has half of its teams are coached by former WNBA players. There's one more vacancy to be filled with the Mercury, but this is another step in. I mean, just amazing.
I wonder if it's going to be the coach of the Golden State Warriors expansion WNBA team.
I don't know. I mean, we heard from that from the commish Kathy that they are going to expand the 2025 to the Golden State Warriors organization purchased is going to have a WNBA team. They're still waiting to see where that second team may go for 2025, whether it be Portland. They mentioned like Toronto. They mentioned a couple other places to trying to figure out logistics. Would be good. And then, I think they meant there was a few places that, seem to be great spots where, because they already have like a franchise or a place to play, whether it be an NBA state arena or whatnot. So it looks bright in the future. Yeah. To have some expansion teams. All right, we're going to get into pick'ems. I won barely last week 2-1. So, wow. I picked those Bears and Justin Fields ran it for me. He won my league for me last year.
Well, I know. I had picked the Commanders. I wasn't expecting. Well, Mike Ditka passed away.
Yeah.
So that was it. It was the Ditka effect.
You think that was it? Mike Ditka put the power within Justin Fields.
As soon as they announced Mike Ditka passed away, I said, you know what? They're going to win this freaking game now.
But he also balled out crazy.
They're going to win the game. Either way,
it was a Mike Ditka. Okay.
It was a Mike Ditka effect. That's the football guys for you. That's how that works. Justin Fields ain't never looked as good as he did that night. The Ditka effect.
I'm just hoping it can continue. It can continue.
Well, they need to keep it going for him. I mean, if that's what it took for the poor man to pass away, sadly, the age of 80. Here, I mean,
rest in peace. The Bears.
It's almost like a blood sacrifice or something they had to do to get the Bears back on track.
All right, so we already had those.
So they're 1-4. We'll take it. Finally got a win.
They got a win. Hey, they got that win. Listen,
they did.
Let them
have
that.
On prime time. On prime time. So there's no
On
prime
prime
time
time.
embarrassment because I didn't want
Hey, it works for me. It worked for me. It worked for my fantasy. I ain't hating. I'm not mad at it. So
Right.
Sunday, of course, just so you know, the Steelers, the Packers have buys this week. So Steelers, Packers buys, adjust your fantasy football
Right.
teams as needed. Sunday morning, if you're betting, if you have fantasy, just remember that there is still another London game on Saturday. So that's 6:30 a.m. here in Las Vegas Pacific time, which is Baltimore at Tennessee.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Derrick Henry. I don't know what's happening with this team, but I gotta go with Lamar. I gotta go with Lamar. That's just, you can't. Unfortunately, I don't know. What are you doing?
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. I don't know. 3-2 Ravens, they're favored.
Yeah.
So we'll roll with it.
We'll roll with it. Okay, next you got the Commanders at Atlanta against the Falcons.
That's going to be a good game, and Atlanta's been doing really well. It's probably going to be a close game. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I'm going to see what they do.
I feel the same way, although the Commanders have been doing well. I mean, Atlanta at home, I feel like that's going to just be an easier game for them. If it had been in Washington, maybe, even though they didn't win the last game in Washington, because Magic was there. Magic was getting mad. They had what was his little interview when he would get upset with the team?
Magic wasn't enough. It was that Ditka effect. I'm telling you, they should have just known to take the L that day.
All right, we got the Vikings and the Bears in Chicago. Both teams are 1-4. This is what you never thought you'd see: is the iced out Kirk Cousins going 1-4 this season, which is
which is very shocking.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, and no Justin Jefferson.
No Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, he's not. He got injured.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll roll with the Bears and just see what happens. They got Vikings.
We'll see. Someone's got to win. Somebody's got to win this one. All right, Seahawks had a bye last week. They're heading to the Cincinnati to play Joe Cool and the Bengals. Jamal Adams is supposed to come back. He got through concussion protocol. Hopefully he manages a whole game for Seattle. I would enjoy seeing that. Cincinnati Bengals 2-3.
But Joe Burrow's back.
Okay. I'm rolling my Seahawks, but what do you want to do?
I don't know.
With the Bengals?
I'll go with the Bengals. I'll just see. I think your Seahawks can pull it off. I'm not going to say that they wouldn't not win this game.
Yeah.
But I think Joe
I'm
Burrow
hoping after a bye week, some of our offensive line and that a couple of our corners or safeties or our backfield can get back in it, because we had a lot of injuries that we had in New York. And thank God New York sucks.
You guys are still winning up games with those injuries, so it wasn't bad. So that's why I say you guys aren't any slouches. But Joe Burrow, he always turns it on after week 5. So that's why I'm like, let me just see what they're going to do, because they still got
the Niners at the Browns. One thing I forgot to say is that, you've been seeing Njoku with the mask. He had a fire in his place and got burnt. They showed his face.
Yeah, right.
Like the fact that
he get burned again?
I think he had an accident in his house. I don't know what it was, something that was lighting or some stove thing or whatever. I don't remember. But he got burnt and his hands are burned. You can see the reflection in his glasses. He has bandages on. Here's the deal. This man played in a game, put on a whole mask, and how tight those helmets are on top of all those burns on your face.
Bane. Yeah, he was out there looking like Bane.
I'm talking about just the pain that putting anything of pressure over a burn is like torture.
I just couldn't imagine that mask. I don't know.
Oh man! But
he had the best game he ever played with the burn. And I have him on his fantasy league, and I'm still not that impressed with him.
They got the Niners coming in. Niners are undefeated.
He's listed as questionable, so I don't even know if he's going to play or not. And we look at these 49ers. They're 5-0 now, and it's always taking what's going to be the upset game of the week. Is this going to be it, or is it going to be the following week? I don't.
Will there be an upset?
I don't think this will be their upset week, though. I think
I don't think as so much as unfortunately, as much as it pains me, I wish they would.
I'm gonna have to go with the 49ers.
Yeah. All right, we got your Saints at the Texans. Saints 3-2, Texans 2-3. Texans are at home.
I'm rolling with the Saints.
Yeah.
Saints defense got me 22 points on Fantasy League. They are balling out. It's the offense. Defense is the one that's helping them win these games.
I'm gonna roll the Texans just to see, Natasha hit us up today. She was in town. I'm gonna roll the Texans just for her. Just who knows? Maybe that home field advantage and with the inconsistency of the Saints, maybe they can pull one off. Who knows? All right, we got the Colts at the Jaguars. Both are 3-2. Jackson's favored by 4.
Are the Colts at home?
No, it's in Jacksonville.
Oh, well, I'm going with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is.
Poor Trey Lance over there in Cowboy land. That was the worst place for him to get dumped. He should have came over to us.
I mean, he might have a starting job now soon. Really, like Dak continues to
get hurt.
Ooh, listen. Carolina Panthers at the Dolphins. The Panthers are 0-5. They have yet to win a game yet.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the week for it either because they're at home.
Not in Miami and not against the Dolphins.
So I'm going to roll with the Miami Dolphins on that.
All right, we've got another game coming up here in Las Vegas. Back-to-back games. You're on a short week, too. You got the New England Patriots coming to visit here in Las Vegas against the Raiders.
I want my Raiders to win so badly, and I think this will be the game we win.
I mean, the Patriots are 4, but it's going to be Josh McDaniels against his old team.
Yep. Yeah. But we took most of that team, so the old team is with us. So we'll see how that looks.
Let's go Raiders. Let's go Raiders. Right. All right, we got the Lions at the Bucks. Lions 4-1, Bucks 3-1. I still got to roll with the Lions. I still love this team.
Them Lions are nice. Yeah. They're a sleeper. They're real nice.
Absolutely. We got the Cardinals at the Rams. Cardinals are 1-4. Rams 2-3. Rams got rid of
really gonna do something this week. Like I really need him to do something. Is Cooper Kupp back, right?
They had an article about how toxic the Cardinals locker room is, apparently. So
who said that? Larry Fitzgerald?
I don't know, but I'm gonna go with the Rams. I don't see the Cardinals winning here. They got lucky with the Cowboys. I don't think that's going to happen continuously.
Right.
Eagles versus the Jets. The 5-0 Eagles travel to New Jersey and take on the Jets.
This is what I'm going to say to this. Jets upset and beat the Eagles last season.
Okay.
This was what broke their undefeated streak was a Jets game. And it was a Jets game later on in the I want to say it was like 11th week game or something, late week game. It was like either 8 or something like that. But the Jets broke them. And like I said, there's probably going to be an upset of some sort of week. Can the Jets repeat that, though? I don't know.
What are you going to do? What are you doing?
Because you got Aaron Rodgers in the building out there. You never know what could happen with that.
Well, I'm rolling with the Philly because Jalen's on my squad. I got to have him have some points. I got to take Philly on this one.
I got all that, too. But I'm just like, this could be the upset week. But maybe not. So I'll just I'll place a bet against them, but I'm going to pick the Eagles this week. But I'm probably going to play a ticket just to see.
So you're taking the Eagles?
I'm taking the Eagles, but when I go to the sports book, I think what I'm going to do is pick the Jets.
Okay. Or hit the spread so you can get those.
Yeah.
Hit the spread. All right. The Giants 1-4 go to the Bills.
Well, we know Buffalo's going to win that game.
Yeah. All right, the Cowboys at the Chargers for Monday Night Football.
That is so out of line to do that.
I got to roll with Heather and her Chargers and see what Mr. Herbert can do.
I got Justin Herbert on my fantasy, but it's like the worst kind of thing of two teams that I loathe going head to head. So the thing of it is I'm going to have to go with the team. And then they're in my division, so if they win, it's another bump up.
Which way you going?
I'm going to have to go with the Chargers. I don't like the Cowboys that much.
Okay.
I called my brother that night. Shout out to Brian. I called him. He says, I am on the couch going to sleep. I'm getting up and I'm going to bed. I'm not even watching that game. What? I just did a welfare check. I just was checking to see how you're feeling about this game. Because it was a massacre. At least he took my call. Shout out to him.
Hey. Okay.
Being a Cowboy fan is still taking my call. I just was doing a welfare check. He's like, I'm going to bed. That's all I gotta say.
I'm still amazed how that worked. That they became a Cowboys fan. So.
I know he's got a whole long story with it, but they're calling Dak Prescott, Whack Prescott out there. They got names. You never know. Trey Lance might start this game. He should start a mid game on Sunday.
You know, if Jerry would get off his sack and just let the Trey Lance play, you never know. It could go good. Trey Lance was
It
doing it
did
for the
go
Niners
good.
up
It was
until he got
effective
injured.
until he got hurt. He was doing all right with San Francisco. It was fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But if I had a line with C-Mac and all those folks on there and George Kittle, I probably would do fine too. At a defense that.
Man, listen. All righty. So that's the show for today. We appreciate y'all. Be back next week. We've got another guest coming up in 2 weeks that we're going to look forward to. But we'll check y'all next week. We appreciate you. Let's go Aces. It's the thing is, we won the last year's championship away. It sucks that we'd have to win it away again. We don't want to. We want to take that win wherever we can get it, of course, whether it be out there or here. But we're trying. We got to get this. We got to get this parade. And the only thing I noticed in the chats was if and when Vegas does win, how is that going to be affected by the F1 and whatever's happening with construction and
they got to
road
do
closures.
They're gonna have to do the parade out by the sports complex.
I told them I said they might as well just put the girls in the F1 cars and just roll them up and down the strip. And I'm like, why not? They only got a couple of them in the garages they made for the F1 cars. Like, take the tops off, let a girl in there right in the back, and just have 12 cars.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that, but they got to figure something out because we're trying to turn up and celebrate. But if it's got to be there, the complex will show up out there.
Big turnout.
Do a parade around the perimeter of the city. We'll do that. I mean, it's got to be something though. This is back to back. It's got to be huge. So hopefully,
big shout out again to Anthony, Scorpions Consulting as well. He said thanks for having me on the show.
Yes.
Great show. Yes, we appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for coming
great.
Still again, 1-1 with our Knights too. It's still
okay.
Coming down to close of a second period, but still 1-1. So hopefully our Knights can pull this off from our nemesis.
My mom said the Knights just made a goal. So I don't know if you need to refresh.
It's an update on my thing. Yes. I got 1-1 still on my ESPN.
Same with Anthony. He said that the Stanley Cup go Knights ago. We just scored 2-1. Okay,
good. Because we're just wrapping up that second period.
Wonderful. Let's go Knights. So we appreciate everyone for tuning in. We appreciate Anthony, of course, with the University of Washington's Nevada Alumni Chapter here. Go check out Sagos, Tropicana, and Fort Apache-ish for the watch parties on Saturdays during game days. And, of course, the big game, Oregon and Washington, college game days on campus. Kickoff is 12:30. And for me and Mo, that's going to be it today. And we will catch y'all next week.
Yep, catch you on the
Go
flip.
Dogs, go Aces, go everybody. Go Knights.
Go Vegas. Vegas is winning.
Go Vegas.
Go Raiders. Let's